It's a corner of Sheffield and Addison. Fans stopping by to admire the statue of Hall of Famer Billy Williams before heading on into Wrigley Field. It's a Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. The Cubs today wrap up a 9-game homestand and try to avoid the sweep against the Astros. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man. Another gorgeous weather day here at the ballpark. Wind blowing straight out. Might be another offensive show. The Astros have scored 19 runs already in this series. It'll be Brett Myers against Doug Davis in about 20 minutes. Let's look at the highlights of a crazy game last night. It started out as a pitcher's duel between Carlos Zambrano and Jordan Lyles making his major league debut. Z with 8 innings allowed just 1 run. Lyles was just as good. He would go to the bottom of the 8th with a 1-0 lead. One of those strikeouts against Zambrano showing his frustration. Here's a key play in the game. Lyles trying to get the lead man at third on a bunt by Tyler Colvin. Can't get it done. Brad Snyder, the pinch runner, scores. Tie game, 1-1. Aramis Ramirez hits one into the corner after the Cubs had already taken the lead. That made it 3-1, and you certainly thought it would hold up. But it did not. Carlos Marmol with his worst outing as the Cubs closer. So weird to see all these base hits. He would give up 6 runs in that 9th inning. This was Michael Bourne's shot to give them the lead, and then Hunter Pence capping it with a 3-run homer, the first right-handed hitter to go deep against Marmol since 2008. A 6-run 9th for the Astros. Fernando Rodriguez gets his first major league win. Marmol blows the save, takes the loss. He drops to 1-2 on the season, and the Cubs 3-5 in the first 8 games of this homestand. We'll hear from Mike Quade coming up, but as we go to break, our Chicago and Northwest Hyundai dealer spotlight reminds us to check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Hyundai Elantra at myhyundai.com. Award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Let's look at the Cubs daily minor league report. Casey Coleman making his first start at AAA since being sent back to the minor leagues, and a win against Nashville. Brian LaHare hitting .365 for the I-Cubs. Nick Struck with 6 innings, 1 run allowed for Tennessee, and Daytona snapping a 12-game winning streak, but still 39-13 in the Florida State League. Well, Carlos Marmol, again, a very rare bad outing for him last night. But Mike Quade has no hesitation in going back to his closer if the Cubs have a save situation today.
I'd love to. We have an off day tomorrow, and game situation will depend on some of that as well. But yeah, I'd love to get him back out there. That's the classic thing. That's not something that's unique to me or anything else. Most managers, when you have a valued guy like that and he has a rough night, and that's part of being a closer, get him right back out there as soon as you can, and he'll be better.
Did you see anything in his velocity or anything that?
Not really, Sully. I just, he has days where his command just isn't as good as other days, and it was a little unusual. The velocity wasn't a problem as much as the command, and I just didn't think he was as sharp with his slider, and that's what he goes to get people out, to strike people out. And he got hurt on a couple of fastballs, which is very unusual. Hell, I don't think I've seen him give up a home run to a right-handed hitter. I mean, it's been years, and someone I think told me that today. But and sometimes when your command deserts you and your slider you're not as comfortable with, you go to the other pitch and you can get beat with it. But how many appearances in a row? He's been too good. So yeah, he'll be out there again today if the situation presents itself.
Time now for Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. Just one word today: smile. Beautiful day at the ballpark, and you're at Wrigley Field. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. Award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Couple of veterans on the mound today. On the left is right-hander Brett Myers. He's had a tough year. 1 win in 11 starts. That came against the Cubs in Houston back in mid-April. He's 9-0 over his last 10 starts against the Cubs. Doug Davis has struggled against Houston in his career. However, this will be his first outing against the Astros in 4 years. So Myers for the Astros, Davis for the Cubs. Beautiful day for Cubs baseball here on WGN. is a gorgeous, sunny June 1st afternoon in Chicago as WGN Sports presents Chicago Cubs baseball. The Cubs wrap up a 9-game homestand today against the Houston Astros. They try to avoid the sweep as well after dropping the first 2 games of this series. And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Happy June 1st, along with Bob Brenly. I'm Len Casper. Bob, we're going to take a look at April versus May for the Cubs, and I have a feeling everybody in that clubhouse is fine seeing June now in the rearview mirror, or rather May in the rearview mirror, and getting to a new month.
Yeah, absolutely. Always looking forward, especially when things are not going well. And if you look at the Cubs' numbers between the month of April and the month of May, very similar with the exception of the cast of characters. April, only 2 players on the disabled list, currently 7 on the DL for the Cubs. Seems to make no difference who's in that lineup, though. They're really struggling to win games.
Well, of all the issues the Cubs have had, one is a numbers problem. Most of their games, of course, come against their own division, and they haven't been good against the Central.
Now, actually, the Cubs have the worst winning percentage of any team in baseball against their own division. This is where you can really make up some ground if you can beat the teams in your division, and so far this season, it's really been a struggle for the Cubs.
Well, we're not sure how the starters will fare today, but there's a lot of experience out there. Brett Myers, the right-hander, Doug Davis, the lefty, and the wind's blowing straight out.
Yeah, Myers has been very good against the Cubs in his career. For Doug Davis, this could be a make-or-break start with Matt Garza coming off the disabled list soon.
And this will be his 4th start as a Cub. Let's send it down to the field for our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, kindly remove your caps, and join Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ, as they honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The great Wayne Messmer with our national anthem. Astros and Cubs, Wrigley Field. Next. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store. Like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Chicago Cubs baseball in beautiful high definition. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Doug Davis is 0-3 after 3 starts as a Cub. Looking for a much-needed victory today, as the Cubs will have just one of 2 off days before the All-Star break tomorrow, and then a long road trip in St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia. Here's the Astros lineup written out by Brad Mills. Bourne, Barmes, Pence. At the top, Hunter Pence is red hot. Carlos Lee has worn out Doug Davis in his career. Keppinger, Michaels in left. Johnson, the third baseman. Tolles catches, and Brett Myers bats ninth.
And let's take a look at the Cubs and how they take the field defensively behind Doug Davis today. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Blake DeWitt getting another start in left field. Tyler Colvin getting the nod in center today. Kosuke Fukudome will be over in right field. Ramirez, Castro, Barney, Pena once again across the infield, third to first. Giovanni Soto doing the catching for left-hander Doug Davis.
We are underway, ball 1 to Michael Bourne. First start for Doug Davis against the Astros since May 13th, 2007. It's been a while. We'll look at his numbers this season. Back in 07, he was with Arizona. Slow windup, the 2-1 pitch. And a liner that's caught knee high on the grab by Kosuke Fukudome.
Michael Bourne jumping on a high fastball. This entire Astros lineup, very good high fastball hitters. Doug Davis is going to really have to make a concerted effort to scoot it up a little bit higher than they can handle. That's been his MO throughout his major league career. Throw the high fastball, try to get fly balls, but not on a day like this. 78 degrees. Wind blowing out to right field at 9 miles per hour. Ball was really jumping in batting practice again today.
Clint Barmes is shortstop, 2 for 9 in the series. Both hits extra base hits. And he's now 3 for 10. Bob's favorite part of the broadcast, the umpires. Corey Blazer behind the plate. The crew chief is Mike Winters. Mike Everett at second. Chris Guccione at third.
Boy, and this is a key guy in this Astros lineup in this series. He has been absolutely on fire at the plate. Even the outs he's made have been hit hard.
6 for 9 in the series for Hunter Pence. 2 homers, a walk, 5 RBIs, 5 runs. And when he went deep off Carlos Marmol last night, it was his 100th career homer. It was the first by a right-handed hitter off Marmol since Hobart Cabrera in late 2008. Having said that, he just bounced into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Astros kept off the board. Here come the Cubs on offense. Official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories. Maximum Pepsi taste. Fukudome, Barney, Castro at the top. Pena, Ramirez, DeWitt again in left. Soto catches Tyler Colvin with his first start in the big leagues since May 7th. And Doug Davis looking for his first hit of the year.
Quick look at the Astros defensively. Michaels, Bourne, and Pence across the outfield. Johnson, Barmas, Keppinger, and El Caballo. Carlos Lee making his 8th start at first base today in place of Brett Wallace. J.R. Tolles doing the catching for right-hander. 6'4", 240-pound Brett Myers.
And a weird year for the ace of the Astros staff, who's behind already 2-0, coming off an excellent year last year. Set career bests in ERA and innings pitched, tied his career high in wins. That's deep, ball carrying, and it's gone! A leadoff home run for Kosuke. Oh, Bob, I think about Monday afternoon, we might have had a shot at that one.
Definitely. We may have had a shot, but Michael Bourne did not. Kosuke Fukudome casting a high fly ball up just to the left of straightaway center field. We mentioned the wind blowing out to right may have helped that one a little bit, but good start offensively for the Cubs today.
Third career home run to lead off a game for Fukudome. 15 home runs allowed by Brett Myers.
We've talked about how Myers has dominated the Cubs over the course of his career, winning 6 of his last 7 starts against the Cubs. However, it's a little different story on the season for Brett Myers. He's lost his last 4 decisions. The ball club has lost his last 6 starts.
With 15 home runs, the most allowed in the league. Barney goes down and bounces to the shortstop, Barmas, who barely gets him for the out. In fact, 15 homers allowed, the most in the majors.
Yeah, I would have been able to jump out of my seat with the glove that we had out there. I'm pretty sure we make a play on that one. Better than that guy did.
Starlin Castro. A big year against the Astros. 458. In his short career, hitting 368 versus Houston. Right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Borderline called inside, 2-1. You can email us at LennonBob@Tribune.com. Our Facebook page always open for business. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Barmas will backhand, pop the mitt, and fire a strike to lead. So 2 outs, it's Carlos Pena elevated to the cleanup spot with Soriano going on the DL, and generally there will be a left-handed hitting left fielder against right-handed pitchers, so Mike Quaddy wants to put Ramirez 5th to try to upset the late inning strategy for the opposing manager in terms of bringing in a lefty.
Yeah, especially, Len, when the Astros only have 1 lefty in the bullpen. You do not want to line up your left-handed hitters and make it easy for Brad Mills to go to the bullpen and the lefty to get a series of hitters. So you try to split up those left-handed hitters with Ramirez in the 5-hole.
Fukudome with that home run off Myers. He's now 3 for 15. against Myers. Darwin Barney's now 0 for 7. Pena's 1 for 8. Ramirez on deck has hit .225 and 40 career at bats. So he has certainly had the Cubs number over the years. Foul, as Lee couldn't get it on the diving attempt.
Well, the Astros don't shift on Carlos Pena like a lot of the other teams we've seen do, as you see Carlos Lee with the diving attempt into foul territory. They do have the shortstop up the middle. The second baseman is playing a little bit over toward the hole, but nowhere near the exaggerated shift that we see most teams put on against Carlos Pena, which tells me that Brett Myers wants to work that outside part of the plate some.
Goes inside that time, and it's off the plate, 3-1. No decision for Carlos Zambrano last night, but he was excellent. One of his best starts of the year. 8 innings, only 1 run allowed. Ball hit hard, but on a hop to Barmas, who had a busy inning. Leadoff homer by Fukudome, and the Cubs lead 1-0.
In Chicago and around the country on WGN America, know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles right here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
2-0 on Carlos Lee. Caught the outside corner for a strike. Lee put together a solid month of May. Hit .316, 30 hits in May. Jeff Keppinger's on deck. Davis with a 2-2 pitch. And a pop fly out for Blake DeWitt in left center. Makes the grab for the out.
Glenn, I mentioned this Astros ball club, pretty good high fastball hitting team, and we know that's Doug Davis's bread and butter, to work that fastball across the top of the zone. But with the idea in mind that the Astros handle that high fastball, I think we'll see him throw a lot more breaking pitches today. And rather than try to make an adjustment and keep the ball down in the zone, I think Doug would probably be better off to go a little bit higher than high. If you're a high fastball hitter and the pitcher throws the ball 4 to 6 inches higher than you can handle, you're probably going to pop it up or foul it off anyway.
One and one to Jeff Keppinger. Just getting going. He made a season debut last Friday. Back from foot surgery. A career .333 hitter against lefties. A lot better against lefties than righties. And he bounces one right to Aramis Ramirez. Jason Michaels will step in. A big Cubs supporter, Gene Judici, wants to wish a happy 87th birthday to his father, Alexander Judici. Alexander has 7 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, World War II veteran, and a lifelong South Side Cub fan. Happy 87th.
That couldn't have been easy. A lifelong Cubs fan on the South Side.
Yeah. Also want to wish Brianna and Giovanni Boulette happy belated 9th birthday. They were out here celebrating last night. A fly ball hit the other way and hit well. Kosuke going back on it, and it's going to get into the front row of the bleachers. Jason Michaels on a 2-0 pitch with a game-tying home run. So each team with an opposite field solo home run on a 2-0 pitch. That's his first of the year.
The timing is everything for Jason Michaels. Just as he got that ball up in the air, the wind seemed to really start gusting toward right field. It swirled around throughout the morning and early afternoon here, sometimes blowing straight out, other times blowing to right field. And right before Michaels made contact, the flags turned and blew straight out toward right field.
7 homers for the Astros already in this series. And according to our good friend Bruce Miles from the Daily Herald, the Cubs have been out homered at Wrigley when the wind has blown out 20-3 already this season. That's a problem.
That is a problem. Speaks to 2 things, the inability of the pitching staff to keep the ball in the ballpark and the inability of the offense to take advantage of those friendly winds blowing straight out.
Bruce keeps very detailed notes on such things. And Paul Sullivan on the right helping us promote our broadcast with the WGN Sports Baseball cap. And I'm sure he'll be told all about the fact he was just on TV. And we'll be tweeting about it all day. Yeah, that's you, Sully. 1-1. Exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna beef hot dog Wednesdays like today. Tuesday night special also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Jason Michaels off to a slow start at part-time duty. Just hit his first home run of the season to tie the game at 1 after Kosuke Fukudome led off the Cubs first with a blast to left center. That's a base hit for Aramis, coming off a nice performance from that 5 spot last night when he had 3 hits.
If you watch throughout the ball game today, you'll notice Brett Myers shakes off his catcher J.R. Tolles a lot, and it's nothing against J.R. Tolles. He does that regardless of who's behind the plate. That time Tolles called for a breaking ball. He shook it off, called for a slider, shook that off, went to the fastball, and Ramirez was all over it.
Blake DeWitt with his second straight start in left. Michaels drifting back, 1 away. Bob, there's some interesting questions when you look at some of the numbers for this Cubs offense. They've been hitting for average really throughout the first 2 months. They've struggled with runners in scoring position, but I think we both agree that those are the kinds of things that can change just because they do. I have to wait to get back into this as Soto gets into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. 1-1 at the end of 2.
Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot stands at $15 million, while Saturday's Powerball jackpot $200 million.
We get into the 3rd inning just to finish up the conversation. Really never got started about the Cubs offense. The Cubs right now rank 6th in the NL in runs scored. 3rd in on-base percentage, 5th in slugging, and the slugging comes mainly from the doubles and the triples. They have not hit a lot of home runs this season. And so when you look at the on-base percentage, Bob, you say, well, you know, the Cubs have only walked 136 times, the fewest in the majors, but as long as they're getting on base, however they do it, and it's been mostly with hits, you feel okay about it. The question is, if by the end of the season you're still last in the majors in walks, do you think they can sustain this batting average? That's the big question. I don't know the answer to it, but what I would say is, like last night, when you're overly aggressive, there are going to be nights when you're going to be completely shut down. And I do think that the patience does give you a little more balance and maybe a little more consistency. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And the effect that patience has on the other team. You get the starter out of the game a little bit earlier if you can get his pitch count up there. Ideally, you get into that middle relief, and for every team in baseball, middle relief is a weakness. But unfortunately, because the Cubs have been so aggressive, especially in that ball game last night against a newcomer, a pitcher that they'd never seen before, Lyles was able to cruise into the deep parts of the ball game with very little problem.
Tolles bounces to Ramirez, who gets him. I think kind of the irony of last night is the Cubs' most patient hitter by far was the most aggressive. Carlos Pena swung at the first pitch in his first 3 at-bats.
Now, that was the first shocking thing we saw last night. Pena's over-aggressiveness against a guy he hadn't seen before. And the second big shock was Carlos Marmol getting banged around the way he did in the 9th inning. We are just not used to, and he's not used to, opposing hitters making solid contact against him. But the Astros were able to do it last night.
Outside corner, 1-1 to the pitcher Myers. Well, Jordan Lyles should feel very good about his major league debut. The Astros certainly do. They were raving about him last night. And probably his biggest mistake was on defense, not on the mound. And a wild throw to third.
And you think back to last night's game, Lyles was able to work his way through the first 4 or 5 innings of the game, really throwing very few breaking balls, very few changeups. Just tremendous command of his fastball on both sides of the plate. His cutter was working well in the early going, and then he gradually incorporated his other pitches as he got deeper into the ball game.
Golf to deep left. Blake DeWitt is back on it, and he makes a catch on the warning track. Blake DeWitt has barely played the outfield. It looked like that ball was going to get over his head, but he was able to get to it and make the grab.
Took just a little bit of a shallow line, given the fact that it was the opposing pitcher that put that ball in play, but made a nice adjustment. Never took his eye off the baseball. Ends up making a nice running catch right in front of the vines.
Curveball didn't curve much to Michael Bourne.
Michael Bourne probably wishes he'd have stayed in that batter's box. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, and Michael Bourne will get on base any way he can, a 68-mile-an-hour curveball in the hip pocket is probably the easiest way you have to get on base.
4 hits, 4 runs in the series for the table setter. Haven't had a chance to talk about it, but the big story surrounding the Astros is not on the field. The team is in the process of being sold. Drayton McClain has owned the team since 1993, in the process of selling to Jim Crane, a Houston businessman. Broken bat ground ball to Darwin Barney. And that should all happen this summer. 1-1 from Wrigley. WGNTV.com. Click on the sports link and you can look for our blog. I have a post about last night's game. We have game notes from stats and much more. There's also a link to our Bleacher podcast. It got really windy after the game. You will notice if you check out our podcast at WGNTV.com. We were dodging all kinds of interesting objects.
I went home with nacho cheese on my kneecaps.
0-2 on Tyler Colvin, who replaced Alfonso Soriano on the active roster. Soriano with the quad injury on Monday. It sounds like it's just a 2-week injury. Colvin with 12 games, about 2 weeks at Iowa. And after a very slow start here at the big league level, hopefully he was able to clear his head and come back and be the guy we saw last year. Before he was optioned, just 7 for 62. Ground ball pulled to Carlos Lee, went down to a knee. Myers covering the bag. One away.
Maybe a little tougher for Tyler Colvin to get into the swing of things today. Number one, Brett Myers on the mound, a pretty tough customer, and also the fact he's hitting in that 8-hole in the lineup with the pitcher behind him. Probably doesn't figure to get a lot of hittable fastballs today.
One ball, no strikes on Doug Davis. Well, as you know, I just like to look around for interesting major league notes. Derek Jeter on his way to 3,000 career hits. He has 2,983, so he's 17 away. And Bob, I noticed that the New York Yankees will be at Wrigley Field in 16 days. So I think it's very possible. 2-2 now to Davis, that Jeter is right around that milestone when the Yankees come here in a couple weeks. Three and two the count. Davis stays alive. Here comes a 3-2. We will do it again. Yankees, by the way, going into their matinee in Oakland, having won 9 straight against the A's. So Jeter leading the way among active players. Pudge Rodriguez, the ageless Omar Vizquel, A-Rod. No doubt we'll get to 3,000 at some point. Backhanded play, Barmas, and the tag will be applied. Did you have a teammate get a 3,000th hit when you played? I can't remember a San Francisco Giant in the 80s that comes to mind. I was in Milwaukee in '93, maybe, when Robin Yount got his 3,000th.
I think we gave up 3,000 hits in '04 with the Diamondbacks, but it's not what you're looking for.
Well, it's a pretty amazing milestone, isn't it?
Oh. I mean, it speaks to longevity, obviously, staying healthy, being able to play on a regular basis, play for a long time and do it at a high level. And, you know, when you think of Jeter playing that shortstop position, and granted his range is not quite what it was throughout most of his career, but playing a very demanding position on the other side of the ball as well. You get that many hits. Obviously, it follows. You're on base a lot. You're sliding a lot. You're scoring a lot of runs. Really involved in every aspect of the game. And to be able to play as long as Derek Jeter has at that level, a remarkable accomplishment.
That's a strike on the guy who hit the home run in the first inning, Kosuke Fukudome. "27 members of that 3,000 hit club. Two members of the 4,000 hit club, Rose and Cobb. Just looking at Wikipedia, I'll take it all with a grain of salt, but Cap Anson with the then Chicago Colts, they have what the hit was when he got his 3,000th, and he ended up with 3,418. It says unclear. So it was in 1897. Paul Molitor picked up a triple for his 3,000th hit with the Twins back in 1996. That's the only triple for a 3,000th hit. Wade Boggs hit a home run. He finished with 3,010.
And slid into home plate. I remember seeing that, the highlights of Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit. It didn't come as a member of the Jays, or the Rays rather, I'm sorry.
It was with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
1999.
Circled the bases and slid into home plate while his teammates were waiting for him.
Stan Musial against the Cubs in 1958 here at Wrigley, May 13th. He would rack up 630 more hits in his career. That was a double. Another play by Barmas. And that'll end the third. Each team with a solo home run. It's 1-1. Clint Barmas starting the fourth against Doug Davis. Big swing and just got a piece of it for strike one. Some other historical notes. Pete Rose tied Ty Cobb with his 4,191st career hit here at Wrigley Field. Lou Brock got his 3,000th hit against his former team, the Cubs, at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We're trying to figure out if anyone other than Stan Musial had ever picked up the 3,000th hit of a career in this ballpark.
Graduation Day at Wrigley Field is back on Monday, June 13th. Graduates in attendance can participate in a pregame parade and will receive a certificate commemorating this spectacular event. It's a perfect gift for the graduate in your life. For more information and to order tickets, visit Cubs.com/graduation and enter coupon code GRADUATE to take advantage of this special offer.
All right, let's test your trivia knowledge here, Bob. There are 3 members of the 3,000 hit club who are currently not in the Hall of Fame. I will give you one hint. All 3 are living.
You know, I should know this, but I don't.
We've already mentioned one. That should be fairly obvious.
Okay. Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, not in the Hall of Fame.
I'm going to need a lot more clues.
Okay, there's a connection to the team the Cubs are playing today.
Biggio.
Biggio,
Yeah,
Craig
okay.
Biggio.
Okay.
Yep. And there is another who once played for the Cubs. Kosuke makes the catch. Rafael Palmeiro.
Rafael Palmeiro.
Rafael Palmeiro.
That wasn't so tough.
The other one.
I was always more concerned, what did the guy do in the series leading up to this one?
Gotcha.
I don't want to hear about the history. I don't know what you did 20 years ago. What'd you do in the last series?
But that's it. All the other 3,000 hit members are in the Hall of Fame. And that's not a good route by Blake DeWitt. Off the bat of Carlos Lee, his first move was back and then came in, couldn't make the catch, and that's a 2-out bloop hit.
I mean, it's understandable. The wind blowing out, a big power hitter at the plate, took a full swing, but cued the ball off the end of the bat. DeWitt's first move was back several steps and just can't recover in time. I mean, he continues to work hard during batting practice, taking fungos out there in left field, playing balls off the bat. But until you get more experience and feel more comfortable in that job, we can expect that Blake is going to struggle from time to time taking his roots out there in left field.
1-0 pitch is a strike at the belt. Good block by Soto. Well, it's great to see WGN General Manager Marty Wilkie at the ballpark. She must know somebody.
Yeah, the guy sitting next to her.
Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts. Oh, they're going to get him. Lee never even got close to the bag as Davis picks him off. It's usually close. This one wasn't even close. 1-1. To the low 80s, wind blowing out to right. Each team with a home run. The starters have been pretty good as we play the bottom of the fourth. Barney, Castro, and Pena versus veteran righty from Jacksonville, Florida, Brett Myers. Myers with that wide stance on the mound as he gets set to pitch. That is foul right near home plate. In dog beers, I've only had one.
Spin it. I like that. Still celebrating St. Patrick's Day. That's a great shirt.
Fastball missed low and outside. Doesn't look like the Cubs will have to deal with Matt Holliday in St. Louis. He's going to have an MRI on his nagging quad. Could end up on the disabled list as Barney strikes out.
Hey, Cub fans, if you want to manage a game along with Mike Quaddy, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Kyle McClellan was scheduled to start against the Cubs on Saturday. Looks like that's not going to happen, and he may end up on the DL. He's got a hip injury, left hip flexor sprain. One ball, one strike to Castro. Also, Matt Garza looking to come back in that Cincinnati series as he will return from the DL, bruised elbow. One of the slower workers on the mound and one of the fastest guys in baseball. The yin and the yang. Doug Davis, Tony Campana.
You know, if you talk to Doug Davis about that, though, he'll tell you that his delivery is slow, but he works pretty quickly between pitches. He likes to get the ball back from the catcher, get right back up on that rubber. His windup is extremely slow, but that's part of what makes him effective.
Well, he's worked quickly today because he's been getting outs. Both guys have battled cancer. Campana when he was a youngster, and Doug Davis 3 years ago, thyroid cancer surgery, and both able to come all the way back. Castro chased a slider. Back-to-back Ks, the first two of the afternoon for Myers.
Against two guys that don't strike out very often. Darwin Barney, a contact hitter that shortens up his swing with two strikes, and Starlin Castro really has chased a lot of bad pitches out of the zone. I think he's going to have to make that adjustment once again, get back into his own zone, because opposing pitchers are just not going to throw him anything to hit.
Two outs, nobody aboard. Carlos Pena, ball one, outside. Former Cub Jake Fox designated for assignment by the Orioles. One and one. See, Albert Pujols has played third base a couple of times for the Cardinals.
He came up originally as a third baseman when the Cardinals had Mark McGwire playing first, played a little bit of left field.
Hey, he played left even though he had a bad elbow for a long time. before settling in at first. I'll repeat the note because it's too good not to when we are in St. Louis. But when Pujols went through the longest home run drought of his career, 119 plate appearances, Cardinals went 17-10. Now, I think that's an interesting number. And what it tells you is that he has a lot of support around him. And you think about Adam Wainwright out for the year, Chris Carpenter off to a bad start, and yet they're still in first place. They are getting contributions from a lot of other people. And remember, they demoted their closer, Ryan Franklin, out of the 9th inning. He got the win last night, by the way.
Of the time of that Pujols home run drought, if memory serves, Lance Berkman and Matt Holliday were 1-2 in the National League in hitting. So yeah, you're right, getting support from other cast members other than the leading man.
They were without their manager when they were here. Tony La Russa battling shingles, missed a 6-game road trip. We'll see them again coming up Friday in Game 1. We'll be here on WGN 7 o'clock Central Time. Ryan Dempster and Kyle Loesch, who's 7-2. Randy Wells goes against the team he grew up rooting for on Saturday, and again they're to be announced with the McClellan injury. Carlos Zambrano and Chris Carpenter will match up yet again on Sunday. They've battled many times. Carpenter will go into that start at 1-5. 2-out walk for Pena.
Carlos Pena, pretty good high ball hitter for a left-handed hitter, and you can see Myers keeping everything down and away with the exception of the one pitch that caught the inside corner.
One and 0 to Ramirez. Pena not a threat to run. The pitch called strike. Today Ramirez tying Johnny Kling, or rather passing Johnny Kling for sole possession of 27th on the all-time games played list with the Cubs. 1,025. Be careful if you go for a refreshment. You might get a foul ball down the tunnel. Gets past Tolles and puts Pena in scoring position. Wild pitch charge to Brett Myers. Two and 2 on Ramirez.
And then have a good this date in baseball history for you.
Yeah.
It applies to the Astros and certainly could apply to the Cubs this year. Back in 05, the Astros got off to a 19-32 start after the first 2 months of the season. The Houston Chronicle on the front of their sports page had an obituary for the Astros. They're done. Of course, the Astros came back to win the wild card, played in the World Series in 05 against the White Sox.
It's still early enough to make a turnaround. The Cubs are certainly hoping they can do that. 1-1 at the end of 4. And Sheffield, for that matter. We're getting a nice breeze out there, I'll tell you that. Oh, 1 pitch on the way to Jeff Keppinger. Curveball dropped in too low. Another early action. Washington leading the Phillies in DC 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Ground ball back up the middle. Barney with a diving stop from his knees. Can't get him. It'll be a hit for Keppinger. Good effort by Darwin Barney.
Not sure that Darwin Barney would have been able to get Keppinger even with an accurate throw, but fires from his knees, shallow center field. Unfortunately, on the outfield side of first base for Carlos Pena. As I said, I believe Keppinger probably would have beaten it anyway, but a nice effort by the Cubs second baseman.
Michaels with a home run in the 2nd to tie it up. Bob, we need to wish Carlos Zambrano a happy 30th birthday today. I'm sure this has happened to you before. You have kind of a funny little note. You see something that's interesting and you tell the person, you think they will appreciate it, but they don't take it the way it was intended. And you were in the clubhouse when I walked up to Kerry Wood. I said, you remember 16 years ago today, you were drafted by the Cubs. And he said, thanks for making me feel old, Len. June 1st, 1995. Kerry Wood, the 4th overall pick in the first-year player draft.
Good intentions.
I wasn't trying to make him feel old. Ground ball, just foul.
Another birthday in the Cub family today. Randy Hundley celebrating a birthday. To celebrate, he went out in the backyard and blocked some balls in the dirt just to stay in shape.
Marlon Byrd was out here early today. And he's feeling good, but he's going to give it time. Doctor's orders coming back from the multiple facial fractures. He told the assembled media today he's been told about 4 to 6 weeks, so maybe early July. And if there's any sort of issue, they could just say, you know what, let's shoot for the first game after the All-Star break. But you know, Marlon will want to be back as soon as possible.
Well, the Cubs coaches have a lot of responsibilities on a daily basis, but one of those responsibilities until Marlon gets better is to make sure he doesn't try to do too much. Basically, he's just been an observer of batting practice the last couple of days, but I was down by the batting cage when Marlon picked up a baseball and a glove and was thinking about playing some catch, and he said, just go on out there and watch. Fortunately, everybody okay after Michaels lost the grip on his bat.
Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts making sure that everybody's all right as Michaels struck out and let the bat go in the process. 1 strike to Chris Johnson. There was a good quote in the Paul Sullivan Tribune story from Marlon Byrd. I'd like to get your comment on it. Byrd said that his first instinct was to charge the mound. He said, quote, I really wanted to. When you get hit, it's weird. You get mad for no reason. But the thing is, you saw me on the ground and I started kicking because I couldn't see out of my left eye. I'm a very fiery player. When I'm out there to battle. Now, he said that Alfredo Aceves does not need to apologize, that he knows it wasn't on purpose, but when guys get hit, they get angry.
It hurts, you know, you feel pain, and the natural reaction is to lash out at the source of that pain.
High fly to deep left center. It's going to stay in the yard, and it's going to be handled by Tyler Colvin.
Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how'd you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules.
Now the guy who hit the game-winning home run on Monday afternoon, J.R. Tolles. Pulls that one out of play foul. Nothing in 2. Cubs just trying to get all the parts to fit together. Doug Davis so far with his best outing as a Cub, but he doesn't have the lead because the Cubs offense has only scored once against Brett Myers.
Well, today Doug Davis doing what you expect from the guys at the bottom of your rotation. Give the team a chance to win. Hold down the opposition's offense. Give your guys a chance to swing the bats against the opposing pitcher and hope they find a way to get it done.
Gives up a leadoff single, but no runs. Play Cash for Life. Instant games from the Illinois Lottery. You keep living, we keep giving. $1,000 a week for life. The longer you live, the more you get. Blake DeWitt will start it against Brett Myers, who has one win this season, and that came against the Cubs in Houston in April. Here we go. Ball one. Low and outside. Great to see Joe and Christy Canine and 89 eighth graders from Petoskey, Michigan made the trip over to catch the Cubs today.
Real good to catch up with Rocky Vanaken down on the field before the game here with a group from Methodist Medical Center in Peoria. Had a chance to meet some of the players down on the field before the game.
Comebacker line drive for a base hit. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. A 1-1 tie. The Cubs have the leadoff man on base as Giovanni Soto takes a strike. He hit into a 5-4-3 double play to end the second inning. Looks like his timing's a little bit off, but he did pick up a key leadoff double as the Cubs rallied in the 8th last night. Gio just off the DL. Curveball, tried the front door and couldn't get it. Soto was activated on Sunday.
That's been the big problem since coming back off the disabled list. Gio has seen a pretty steady diet of breaking pitches, especially the slow curveballs. Having a hard time laying off and making contact when he does swing. Be another curveball right here from Brett Myers. Hangs it up above the top of the strike zone.
Myers 0-4 over his last 8 starts. Swing and a miss. That bottom hand came off.
Pretty curveball that time from Brett Myers, right on the outer third of the plate. Good late biting action. Haven't seen as much of that this year from Giovanni Soto. That bottom hand coming off the bat, that was a pretty regular occurrence last season.
This is a 15th start for Myers against the Cubs in his career. Only one time in his first 14 has he not had a quality outing, meaning 3 earned runs or less in at least 6 innings. And 6 innings, it's something you can count on from Brett Myers. Twice this year has not completed 6. And last year, his first 32 starts, a club record. 6 innings or more to begin the year. One of his 44 starts as an Astro, he's gone at least 6 and has always been good against the Cubs going back to his Phillies days. 1-2 to Colvin.
Well, that was the one Tyler Colvin wanted right there. He loves that fastball out over the plate and down a little bit where he can get his arms extended. He was right on that pitch, fouled it straight back.
Got a nice note from Diane Hertz. Welcome home from Afghanistan, specialist James Hertz. Ole, Sandy, and Autumn want to say hi to everyone in Champaign-Urbana. So hi, everyone.
Everyone. Might take a while.
All of you.
Yeah.
Gruber says hey.
I mentioned it earlier in the ball game, but it still amazes me to watch how many times Brett Myers is shaking off his catcher. Almost every pitch he's shaking to something else. Occasionally you'll see a pitcher shake his head no and actually want to throw that pitch, but he just wants to plant a seed of doubt in the hitter's mind. So for example, Tolles may call for a fastball into Tyler Colvin. Myers would shake it off. Tolles would hang the same sign a second time and he would throw that pitch. But that's not the case today. He is shaking off to get to other pitches almost on every delivery. Took off a fastball, wants to throw a slider away.
Runner going, Colvin able to hold up for ball 4.
This was supposed to be a backdoor slider, starting it over in the right-hand batter's box, trying to nip the outside corner, but Myers spikes it in the dirt. Pretty nice job by Tolles to keep that ball in front and make sure that Blake DeWitt only advanced 90 feet.
Astros expecting Davis to bunt. Try to put 2 in scoring position for Fukudome. And he gets down a beauty. Myers will get him on the diving stretch by Keppinger.
Oh, what a great bunt by Doug Davis. Really able to deaden that ball on the left side of the field. The Astros were charging aggressively from both corners, and he's still able to dump it over there where only Brett Myers was able to make the play. Nearly threw that one down the right field line.
Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach, is going to talk it over. They have first base open. Darwin Barney is on deck. Nice to see the Cubs welcoming Urban Prep Academies today to the ballpark.
We invite you to stroll through the home of the Chicago Cubs and get an insider's look at more than 97 years of history in this legendary ballpark. Guided tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, and dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Tour sizes are limited and sell out fast, so get your tickets today.
Second and third for Kosuke. And a fly ball out to left. It's going to hold up. Michaels squeezes, and the inning comes to a quick end. They leave 2 in scoring position. It's 1-1 after 5. And in Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball program, the local Chevrolet dealers are supporting over 35,000 young ball players in their communities. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. Gorgeous afternoon, 1-1, Astros and Cubs in the series finale. Couple of crafty veterans on the mound, Doug Davis and Brett Myers. 1-1 on the Houston pitcher. Partner, we want to send our best wishes to 85-year-old University of St. Francis baseball coach Gordy Gillespie, who has retired. Off into the sunset, and hopefully can just enjoy the rest of his life. I'm sure it'll be tough without baseball, but I'm sure he'll be attending a few games.
Yeah. Well, he certainly earned it. Gordy will probably love this next feature we're going to show you, the Xfinity high def shot of the game. Just an absolutely gorgeous afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Blue skies, some wispy white clouds out beyond the scoreboard in center field. Fans really enjoying themselves here at Wrigley today. Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast.
Bunted by Bourne, fielded by Pena, and he tags him out. Now it's Barmas, who's 1 for 2. It sends Indiana native Clint Barmas. Barmas played center field in junior college. Olney Central Community College in Olney, Illinois, and he converted to shortstop. Ended up at Indiana State. Base hit to right, past a diving Barney. I'd say Clint Barmas with one of the more infamous injuries over the past decade in Major League Baseball. When he was a member of the Colorado Rockies, he broke his collarbone when he fell while carrying a package of venison up the stairs in his apartment building. Deer meat given to him by his teammate Todd Helton.
And the deer had the last laugh. I guess not.
Good block by Soto on that pitch that bounced out in front of home plate.
Well, that saved a runner in scoring position because Barmas had already crossed over and taken a couple steps towards second base when he read the flight of that baseball, but Gio blocks it against his left bicep, pins it against his chest. You see Barmas is ready to take off to second base, but Gio did such a nice job of keeping that ball in front. He had to hit on the brakes and go back to first.
An eerily quiet start for Hunter Pence, 0 for 2. 6 hits in the first 2 games, including 2 home runs. Does he swing hard?
You know, Len, we couldn't really let a 3-game series against the Astros go by without organizing a posse to find the rustlers that stole his calves. Those are some skinny little legs, but they work well for Hunter Pence. He's always worn those pants right up underneath his knees. You know, a lot of guys get to the big leagues, wear the flared pants right down on top of their shoes. Not Hunter Pence. That's his style right there.
Shoots that one into right. And his hitting streak is now up to 13 games. 24 hits during this streak.
Change up grip there by Doug Davis. Yeah, this is why Pence has a hitting streak. In the past, he wasn't really willing to give in even with 2 strikes and hit the ball to right field, but he stayed on that change up low and away. And single shot down in that right field corner to Kosuke Fukudome. I'll tell you, when a hitter like Hunter Pence is spraying the ball all over the field, he's going to have some hitting streaks.
That'll bring out Mark Riggins with Sean Marshall just grabbing a ball and playing catch down in the Cubs bullpen. Already the longest outing for Doug Davis this season.
The 2011 Chicago Cubs on WGN are brought to you by Bud Light Lime. Just the right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
Carlos Lee 8 for 15 against Doug Davis. As Marshall gets loose under the watchful eye of Lester Strode. Davis will check on Pence. He picked off Lee to end the 4th inning. Bobby Meacham is the Astros first base coach. Dave Clark, a former Cub, across the way at 3rd. Drilled foul.
Dave Clark, the third base coach for the Astros, as you mentioned, Len, one of the more active third base coaches in all of baseball. He rarely stands still down in that coach's box. We saw him yesterday come charging in almost all the way to home plate because he couldn't see Brad Mills in that first base dugout and get the signs from his manager. He's positioned well past the bag at 3rd right now to pick up Hunter Pence on a potential base hit, rounding second base. Here come charging in from that coach's box. Flashing the signs. Will probably give a verbal sign to the runner at 3rd what's going on, if anything at all. And once again get himself in position to pick up the runner at 1st should there be a base hit. Now if the runner was at second base, he would be a lot closer to home plate on that end of the coach's box.
Lee couldn't hold up. Davis strikes him out. They get 2 hits with 2 outs but do not score. It's still 1-1.
Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cubs game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Let's just copy this weather. The season.
Perfect.
Chance to be pretty warm this weekend in St. Louis as we look at the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. We'll have the opener on WGN Friday night. This will not be an easy trip. St. Louis, Cincinnati, and then Philadelphia. Although the Reds are right at 500. Had some struggles. Don't pack any red shirts on this trip.
Oh, don't worry about it. Every opponent wears red.
Yeah.
Although the Phillies at one time, their red was more of a wine color there for a few years. They've gone back to the more traditional red now. It's like the Astros red. I think it's very similar to the Diamondbacks. Maybe a brick red, they call it, or Sedona red. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Astros go back to their old rainbow unis. It has more of a space kind of feel to it than the current look, which isn't bad, but Barney grounds out.
Well, certainly those old rainbow unis were very distinctive. There was no question who was on the field when they had those unis on. If you took a glance right now, you would, maybe it's a D-backs. No, it's the Astros. You wouldn't know for sure because the colors are very similar. Both teams wear the gray road unis. But those old Astros unis with the rainbow tops, there was no doubt about who you're playing.
Orange hats. Tapper foul for Castro. Go back to last year's All-Star break. Castro with 157 hits. Tied with Ichiro for the second most in baseball. Hunter Pence with the most. Going into action today, 160 base hits since last year's break. 1-1 on the way, inside on a fastball. I don't know if that is an actual Astros player, but that is the jersey.
I'm guessing that's the Astros fantasy camp,
yeah,
right
it's
there.
got to be, right?
Yeah. But that's the uniform you were talking about.
Ball to left. Michael's on the track. He gets it right in front of the vines. It's worth another look. Oh, you got to love the internet.
Yep. Must have runners on base. He's pitching out of the stretch.
What ballpark is that?
That's the parking lot of the Astrodome is what that is. Wow.
Carlos Pena. And that ate up Keppinger. When an infielder backs up like that, that's usually trouble. And the inning is still alive.
At second base, you do have a little more leeway to back up and get yourself a good hop because the throw to first base is so short. But in this particular case, Keppinger backed up and made it into a tough hop. Got right underneath the glove into right field.
E4. First error of the game for either team. One and one to Ramirez. It is a final in DC. 2-1 Nats over the Phils. John Lannon over Roy Oswalt. Drew Storen got his 10th save. Lance Nix with a game-winning home run in the third. No runs after that. Wind still blowing out toward right. It has changed directions on occasion, but the main theme is it's blowing out either to center or to right. Pence had some trouble the other day with that sun, not that time, and the inning is over. Extended because of the error, but no runs. 1-1 after 6.
Sharp as a tack, she is touring the facility and picking up slack. I want a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket.
That's Cake with short skirt, long jacket. That's our Bud fan cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
7th inning. 1-0 count on Jeff Keppinger. Doug Davis has gone the distance. Strike 1-1. WGN Radio morning drive host Greg Jarrett will be the guest conductor of the 7th inning stretch coming up.
Good unintentional cake reference there. Going the distance.
Kerry Wood and Sean Marshall are up. Sergio Escalona, the lone left-hander, got the win on Monday, and he's up in the pen. Leadoff single, Jeff Keppinger. We found him. That's the jersey we were talking about. Nate. Looks like he had Tommy John surgery.
A little zipper on his elbow there.
He looks a little bit more like a major league player than the other guy we showed you.
Marginally.
Well, I mean the elbow scar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes it a little more realistic.
Jason Michaels pops it up. This is a kind of moment where you might want to hide the bats in the Gatorade cooler because Jason Michaels may do some damage. Not real happy with himself. Davis has been excellent today. Michaels with a home run in the second. That's it. They haven't really threatened. I think the key number is the 0 on that list. No walks. He walked 6 his last time out against the Pirates on Friday. In the dirt, couldn't get him to fish. 2-0. Another final, this time from the American League. The Rangers beat the Rays in St. Pete 3-0. Colby Lewis. 8 shutout innings. Combined with Neftali Feliz, a 5-hit shutout. Cub fan or Astros fan right there. If we were in Houston, there'd be no doubt.
No doubt.
Cub fan. That's pretty easy. Long look by Davis. As a sign from Giovanni Soto, who wants to go up. He's out of the zone 3-2. Paid crowd today 31,340 at Wrigley Field, enjoying the weather and a pitcher's duel to this point. Runner goes, ground ball, knocked down. Oh, did that hit his face? I think that got Ramirez in the face. It'll be a base hit, but the big concern right now is about Aramis Ramirez. That ball took a wicked hop and came right up and hit him in the side of the face. Oh, man. That'll be it for the Cubs third baseman today. Not sure if it got him in the mouth or the nose or parts of both.
You notice Ramirez is wearing those wraparound sunglasses. Sometimes those can at least protect the eye area when you get a bad hop grounder like that. Smash right down the third base line. Ramirez leaves his feet, tries to make a diving attempt. The ball comes up, and yeah, it caught him in the face somewhere.
DJ LeMahieu will come in to play third, and that'll be it for Doug Davis. By far his best outing as a Cub. We'll be back in the seventh. With four-wheel drive. 2 runs in the game, a home run for each team. Michaels in the second. Before that, Kosuke led off the first for the Cubs with a blast. We hope Aramis Ramirez is all right. He did leave under his own power, but with a towel to his face. As DJ LeMahieu will play defense in the majors for the first time. He pinch hit on Monday in his major league debut. Kerry Wood against J.R. Tolles with Keppinger at second. Johnson the runner at first. The kick and the pitch outside on a fastball, ball 1.
See the numbers for Kerry Wood on the season. He's held opponents to a 192 batting average with runners in scoring position, and that's where he finds himself right now. Astros with runners at first and second.
Cutter's low, 2-0. Angel Sanchez on deck for the pitcher Myers.
Like a pretty good cutter right there. Started on the inside part of the plate, working its way back toward the middle, right at the bottom of the zone.
Two singles in this inning. Astros threatening to get their first lead of the day. Trying for their first 3-game series sweep since last year. They swept St. Louis late. 3-1. I thought turning the calendar page, the Cubs could avoid the injuries, but another guy going down today. They are loaded as Tolles takes the walk.
Keep in mind, Len, that Brad Mills does have Brett Wallace, arguably the best hitter outside of Hunter Pence on this Astros ball club, a left-handed hitter available. But certainly if he went to Brett Wallace, we'd see Sean Marshall in this game. One of the huge advantages of having a boatload of lefties down in that bullpen. Pretty much nullifies any left-handed bats off the bench.
Not much experience, but a lot of success. 4 for 7 with a walk and a run knocked in as a pinch hitter for Sanchez. Laid down a sac bunt in the pinch.
Well, that was a very late granting of timeout by home plate umpire Corey Blazer. Like Woody was already ready to deliver the pitch before Sanchez even requested timeout, but it was granted.
Two and 0. That walk to Toll's the first walk given up by Cubs pitching today. Doug Davis was around the plate throughout his outing. 60 strikes among his 92 pitches. Giovanni Soto's doing all the talking in that meeting.
It looked like a lot of it was directed at Carlos Pena. You wouldn't think you would be that vociferous and then try a pickoff attempt at first base, but yeah, a lot of the conversation was between Gio and the first baseman. Good meeting.
Two one on the way. Pop foul. 2-2. And he got him on a curveball. That's kind of become his secret weapon. He doesn't throw a lot of them.
Well, he had to shake all the way around to get to that curveball. Giovanni Soto called for the cutter on both sides of the plate, the fastball on both sides of the plate. Ultimately, Woody got the sign he was looking for and dropped a perfect curve in there for strike 3.
That'll be it for Kerry Wood. Michael Bourne, the hitter. Sean Marshall will take over on the mound when we come back. Can't get enough cake. Sean Marshall with the bases loaded in a tie game. 2 outs. Michael Bourne the hitter. Cornermen LeMahieu now at third for Ramirez. Pena over at first. Have to play in on the grass. Bourne tried to bunt his way on in the 6th and was unsuccessful, and a base hit. Bourne with that big knock last night in the 9th, and he gives the Astros a 3-1 lead with a single to right. It's 3-1. Well, he didn't wait around. Jumped on that first one from Marshall.
I think Michael Bourne has learned his lesson facing Sean Marshall. Michael Bourne got a hit the first time he faced Sean Marshall in his career, struck out his next 6 at bats, but this time jumps on the first slider he sees and lines it into right field for a couple of runs driven in.
You know, now that you mention that, I seem to recall some very uncomfortable swings by Bourne against Sean Marshall back in that series in April in Houston. But he gets him this time. The game-winning hit last night. Those runs charged to Doug Davis. Bourne takes off. Soto's throw is going to be late.
Huge jump that time by Michael Bourne. Gio really unloads the ball quickly this time. Right on the base, but Bourne already coming up out of his slide by the time the ball got there.
21 steals, that leads the majors. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Greg Jarrett from WGN Radio with our stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. WGN Radio morning host Greg Jarrett.
On a perfect blue skies Chicago Cubs day, are you ready, fans? A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
J.R. Tolles, and great to have with us Greg Jarrett. You hear him on the morning show on WGN Radio. And did not want to ask you off the air, wanted it to be spontaneous. Your initial reaction to this roller coaster ride of singing the 7th inning stretch.
Boys, I tell you what, I'm sweating like a lamb on the Saturday before a Greek Easter Sunday. I don't know, man. The anticipation was something else, and now that it's over, I don't even remember singing the song.
You did, just so you know. It wasn't a dream. And
did a great
lot
job.
of energy.
Yeah.
You did a great job. Got this crowd going.
You guys got a great view. I used to be afraid of heights, but man, this just blew it all away. I'm fine now.
It'll be lefty against lefty to start the Cubs 7th. Got to ask you in the morning show, you go on the air at what, 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
You're up at what time every day?
2:30. This is my 13th hour, gentlemen.
Now,
Well, we'll let you go so you can go home and go to bed.
Are you the kind of person who gets a nap in the afternoon and then you're ready to go in the evening, or do you just go to bed at like 8 o'clock?
I get a brief nap and go to bed between 7:30 and 8. But, you know, I swim in the afternoon.
Inside corner and a strike on DeWitt. You had the whole station out here today.
Yeah, they're all sitting over here in the bleachers. You know, people ask me. I tell them every morning I pretend like I'm going duck hunting, and by the time I'm fully awake, show's over.
Yeah, that's kind of an amazing phenomenon, isn't it? If you're waking up early to go fishing or go hunting or play around a golf, whatever the case may be, something that you enjoy, it isn't quite as distasteful when that alarm clock goes off.
Yeah, but when you're going to work every morning, I tell you what, like I say, it's a good fantasy to pretend like I got the Labrador Retriever. No shotgun though.
Might come in handy some days.
It's high 3-2. Finally, the weather has turned. I'm sure that's been a big topic of conversation on your show.
It was like a light switch flipping. I mean, 40 degrees one day and 90 degrees the next. They got whiplash.
It was 48 degrees at game time on Friday to start the series against the Pirates. And as DeWitt taps one on the ground to Jeff Keppinger, who will get the out. Well, you've been on the air here for a couple of years, Greg. Give us just some thoughts on the city of Chicago and how you've been welcomed into the WGN family.
You know, I live just right across the street from the Showcase studio there at the Tribune Tower, and I spend a lot of time on Metra. I spend a lot of time on the L's and CTA, just getting all over the place. And this is one of the warmest welcomes anybody could have gotten anywhere. It's like everybody had a basket for me. I feel like I'm at home.
Ball one to Soto. Colvin on deck. Cubs trail 3-1. Well, I'm going to come on your show tomorrow, and I will give all of your listeners a full review of your 7th inning stretch. It'll be a good review.
You know, if you ever
don't have to worry.
If you're ever sitting in the Showcase studio with us, it is an amazing. It's like a movie on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I was down there doing a show with Dave Kaplan a couple of months ago, and it is great. And if you're downtown on Michigan Ave, make sure you stop by and check out what's happening in WGN.
Lynn and Bob, you guys have a cup of hot coffee waiting for you in the Showcase studio any morning you're willing to get up that early. And we'll even pretend like we're going fishing or duck hunting or something
All right.
like that.
I was going to say I'd show up in person tomorrow, but I'll still be sleeping. That will be foul, as Pence just could not navigate that bullpen mound.
Well, the mound, the sun, the wind, everything working in the Cubs' favor on that particular play. Hunter Pence really started to short-leg it as he got over there close to that Astros bullpen, and understandably so. Very dangerous area of this field. Pence actually overran it a little bit, but once again that wind blowing out to right field, looking right up into the sun, never really had a beat on it.
So new life for Soto. 3-2 count. And he doesn't walk, he gets hit. A painful way to reach first base. The tying run will come up.
Caught him on the outside of the left foot right there. May have hit the ground first before ricocheting up and catching Soto on that left leg, left ankle area.
Here's Colvin. Laid off ball one. Greg, I know it's a morning show. You talk about the topics of the day, but Cubs baseball is a huge part of every day's programming, isn't it, at WGN?
We're fortunate to have Mike Quaddy on once a week. We had him on this morning to talk with him a little bit, and it's a tough season, but there's one thing that stays true as the sky is blue today, and that's the Cubs fans. I mean, they're with us every inch of the way, every day on the phones and on the internet.
31,000 plus here today. Astros at double play depth. Johnson now in on the grass at third as Colvin smacks it foul.
Well, Greg, how did the guys over on the radio side treat you today?
Oh, they always treat me good. You know, Keith and I both played football in Texas. I played at Permian High School in Odessa, Texas, and he played at UT later on. I was at the University of Southwestern Louisiana. We tell football stories. That's what we do, yeah.
Friday Night Lights, right?
Yep.
Odessa,
yep.
Permian High.
Mojo. You got to have that mojo going on.
I mean, what kind of crowds did you play in front of?
20 to 30,000 every Friday night.
Keyed at Moreland. Foul tip.
Keith and I were talking about it. Sometimes we'd have 1,500 people show up for practice. People would be betting on two-a-days. It's football on Friday nights in Texas can be bad for a 17-year-old boy.
I would imagine, though, that Friday night after the game in Texas for a high school football player was probably a pretty special time in the state of Texas.
We're not talking about that.
This is Johnson at third. And he will make the catch for the second out. Thanks for stopping by today, Greg. We appreciate it. We'll be listening tomorrow. Again, I'll be joining you. I look forward to it.
Thank you, Len.
You did a really nice job today. Lots of energy.
Guys.
That's the big key. You got all the words right, too.
I feel good. Thank you, boys.
That's Greg Jarrett from WGN Radio. And Brad Mills coming out. And he's going to make a change. It'll be righty against righty with LeMahieu coming up when we come back. Brought on to face right-handed hitting DJ LeMahieu came in for the injured Aramis Ramirez. 2 outs in the 7th, runner at first. LeMahieu on Monday made his big league debut off the bench and hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the 8th inning. It was against Wilton Lopez. Del Rosario, 2 scoreless innings on Monday. Not an easy day to pitch. Gave up just 1 hit. Ground ball to Keppinger. This will end the inning. Hit batter, no runs. Off to the 8th. 3-1 Houston.
The anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, WGN TV and Pepsi want to send you and a friend to the Hollywood Boulevard Cinema in Woodridge for a special screening of the movie. Winners will receive a $20 food voucher and unlimited Pepsi beverage service brought directly to your large leather seats in a luxury theater. To enter, go to WGNTV.com/contest.
8th inning now. Hunter Pence rockets one foul into the seats. "3-1 Astros on a 2-run single by Michael Bourne." Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts back out in the bleachers chatting with fans. It's out in deep right. In there for a strike. Gone final in Boston. The White Sox did it again. They beat the Red Sox 7-4. Gavin Floyd over Matt Albers. So for the White Sox, they have now won 7 in a row at Fenway Park, their longest winning streak since the late 50s at Fenway. Marshall's 2-2. He got him.
Against Hunter Pence, especially when he's locked in, slower is usually better than harder. So Sean Marshall goes with the big curveball, gets Pence out in front, swinging right over the top of that pitch.
Lee 1 for 3, ball 1. Interesting comments from Oakland general manager Billy Beane to ESPN's Buster Olney regarding all these collisions at the plate. Now, we mentioned yesterday Ryan Domit going to the DL. Remember the collision he had with Carlos Pena here? Well, fracture. Buster Posey out for the rest of the year. And Billy Beane said he told Kurt Suzuki, the A's starting catcher, quote, "I don't want you planting yourself in front of the plate waiting to get creamed. You're an athletic catcher. Be athletic. I don't subscribe to the theory you should be a crash test dummy. I don't want to lose you for 6 months." Easier said than done for this reason. Your GM and your manager tell you, we don't want you to get hurt. So don't just stand there and get blasted. But if you get out of the way, you're going to take some heat from others inside the game who think you should block the plate at certain times. It's a little tricky.
And I wonder how Billy Beane would feel if that were the winning run in determining whether Oakland goes to the playoffs or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's
there's any real easy answer. Obviously every catcher, you try to protect yourself, and when you can get out of harm's way, absolutely you should.
Lee goes the opposite way for a 1-out hit. Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seat you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub. One on, one out. LeMahieu handles his first chance cleanly.
First chance, and not an easy chance. Kind of a tough in-between hop. You could see he kind of blocked it up against his midsection, found the ball with his bare hand, and accurate throw on to Pena for the out at first. That's one thing we heard about LeMahieu in his time in the Cubs minor league system. He rarely makes a bad throw. Very accurate with his throwing arm, whether going to second base to initiate a double play, throwing across the diamond to first from third base, or turning double plays in the middle of the field when he happens to be playing one of the middle positions.
The update on Aramis Ramirez, a lip laceration. Sounds like he's going to need some stitches, but it could have been a lot worse. Inside corner, ball popped out of the mid of Soto, but still called a strike by Corey Blazer. 0-2. Sean Marshall stands very tall, 6'7", taller than most of his teammates. But if you'd put him up next to Shaquille O'Neal, he'd look like David Eckstein. Shaquille O'Neal announced his retirement today. I wish Shaq the best in his retirement. Michaels grounds out, and it's still 3-1 Houston to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the first inning with the second home run of the season that gave the Cubs the lead. It would be short-lived as the Astros would tie it in the second. It's brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Brett Wallace is in for Carlos Lee at first base. Rosario still on. And ground ball to Wallace, plays the short hop and tags the bag. Other than that home run, top 4 guys in the lineup without a hit. That's the only one. Kosuke home run. In fact, the Cubs have 3 hits today. Brett Myers has a chance for only his second win of the season. The other one came against the Cubs.
Three base hits for the Cubs. Ramirez with a single leading off the second inning. He was erased on a Giovanni Soto double play grounder. Blake DeWitt with a leadoff single in the 5th. Later a 1-out walk to Tyler Colvin. A bunt by Doug Davis to set the table, but Fukudome lined out to left field in that particular situation. A couple of walks and a hit batter, and that's been it offensively for the Cubs today.
Down the right field line and out of play. Astros closer Mark Melancon. It's off the front foot, and it's foul.
Get the feeling Del Rosario is the kind of pitcher that gets a lot of foul balls by right-handed batters off of that front leg. Low 3/4 arm angle, a lot of tailing, sinking action on that fastball, and invariably you're going to hit the top part of the baseball, that time just above the left ankle of Darwin Barney.
Carlos Marmol will get right back up on the horse today after giving up 6 and taking the loss last night. Should be caught. Wow. What a catch by Jeff Keppinger. That looked like that ball was going to get down for Darwin Barney. Pence and Bourne didn't have a chance at it. What a grab by Keppinger.
I didn't think there was any way Keppinger was going to make this play, but able to make a nice adjustment right at the very end of his route there. Reach out and make a backhanded catch on what appeared to be a bloop single off the bat of Darwin Barney. That's a great defensive play.
Well, Barney himself has done that to a few guys.
Another one of those foul balls on that hard sinker on the inside part of the plate. You're playing the left side of the infield for the Astros with Del Rosario on the mound. You're pretty sure you're going to get some action over that direction. Another hard sinker inside. Just catch the top part of the baseball, foul it straight down.
High bouncer. Barmes for the out. Del Rosario's been outstanding in this series. Off to the ninth. 3-1. Central Time for our Chicago viewers. Tom Negevin, Lourdes Duarte, and Jim Ramsey will have the 5 o'clock news. Strike from Carlos Marmol to Chris Johnson. Non-save spot, but Mike Quade, especially with the off day tomorrow, wanted to get his closer right back out there. Oh, and 2 to Johnson.
Lynn, it was good to see his teammates rally to support Carlos Marmol after a rare misstep for him last night. You know, everybody's going to have bad days and good days, but when you're the closer, those bad days really tend to stand out.
Castro catches the line shot. 1 out.
Yeah, even Big Z after his best outing of the year. But hey, it happens. Arnold has nailed down so many wins in his time as a closer for this team. You hate to see it happen, but everybody's entitled to a misstep once in a while.
You know, in terms of, quote, doing your job, whatever your job is, Marmol's been the Cubs' best player the last several years. Did not duck the media. And even said, look, if I got booed, I deserved it. I was bad. It's right back out there today.
I think this is a good move by Mike Quade to get him back out on the field as quickly as possible. We've already seen a much better slider this afternoon than anything Carlos offered up to the Astros hitters last night. Seemed like every slider he threw backed up right into the middle of the strike zone, unlike that one that freezes. Tolls for a called strike 3. For 3 sliders on the outside part of the plate, he throws one to the front door, ends up right down the middle of the plate. A little bit of jelly leg on the front side there by J.R. Tolles, and he'll go down on strikes.
I'll bring up the guy who tied the game with a 2-run pinch hit double off Marmol last night, Matt Downs. Fastball outside edge. Giants and Cardinals later tonight in St. Louis. Tim Lincecum versus Jake Westbrook. Good Central Division matchup. Sean Markham and Mike Leake in Cincinnati. Brewers and Reds. Markham will go into that outing at 6-2 with a 2.80 ERA. Ball 4. Derek Jeter with a hit as the Yankees lead the A's 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th. So he's 16 away from 3,000. Base hit Michael Bourne. What a series he's had.
Big opposite field base hit with the bases loaded last night against Marmol. He picks right up where he left off, jumping on that high fastball, hooking it back to his pull field. Chase Downs all the way around to third base. Astros have him at the corners with 2 outs in the inning, and I figure Bourne's going to run again here. That's what he does.
There he goes. You got a running lead there. Second steal today. Barmes couldn't hold up. Well, the Astros have the worst record in the National League, but they're 3 outs away from sweeping here on the road. Swing and a miss, and the inning comes to an end. So a scoreless inning for Marmol. Bottom 9, Cubs trail by 2. Our director is Skip Ellison. Our associate producer Doug Stanton. Paula Ostroba, our stage manager in the booth. The executive producer of Cubs Baseball on WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Great work, as always, by our entire crew. Here at Wrigley is Mark Melancon. Shoots for his 4th save. Brandon Lyon is on the disabled list. And Melancon worked an inning on Monday in a non-save spot, gave up a run. Last night in a non-save spot, worked a 1-2-3, very quick, I think 7-pitch 9th inning.
Good fastball in the low to mid-90s, a nasty over-the-top curveball. He will mix in an occasional cutter, an occasional straight changeup, but basically a 2-pitch guy, fastball, curveball.
He's made 20 pitches in 2 innings in this series. You're going to have to throw strikes to Carlos Pena. Pena knows that leadoff walk would immediately bring the tying run to the plate. Brad Snyder, a pinch hitter, is on deck in Marmol's spot. 2-0. 4-pitch walk to start the inning.
Although he's the cleanup hitter recently here with the Cubs, you love to have Carlos Pena leading off an inning in a 2-run ball game, because you know he's not going to chase any bad pitches. He'll take his walk, get on base, and bring that tying run to the plate.
Brad Snyder made his big league debut last year. 12 games, he hit 185. Originally taken by the Indians in the first round of the 03 draft. Cubs got him on waivers in September of 08. There's the first strike of the inning by Melanson.
Well, the first strike call of the inning. Let's just put it that way. That fading sinker off the outside corner. Certainly not a pitch that Snyder wants to swing at, but I believe it was even in the strike zone.
Well, you combine last night and today, the Cubs with just 10 hits. A lot of extra base hits last night. And one today, the home run by Kosuke, but that's the only run the Cubs have. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Nasty curveball for strike 3. You see on pitch tracks that number 1 was the sinker that started the sequence and immediately put Brad Snyder in a hole. Then he chased a couple of bad pitches out of the strike zone down. 1 out of the inning.
DeWitt 1 for 3. Long look by Melanson. He has his sign now set. He just missed the corner. 1-1. Orioles and Mariners 1-1 in the 6th. Texas won today, so Seattle a game out in the AL West. Bourne coming in. And the last chance now, Giovanni Soto. Wind's still blowing out. If he can get a hold of one, we'll have a new ball game. And if we do go to extras, it'll be Jeff Samardzija, it appears. He's throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Gio was trying for a game-tying blast and just got a piece.
After 3 straight left-handed hitters, Melanson just pounding away at that outside corner with sinkers. You send a righty up there and that fastball down and in. Good pitch to hit out of here for Giovanni Soto. Just got the top half of the ball that time. Curveball coming. It's a nasty pitch. Some guys throw a curveball that leaves their hand and goes up first and then takes the break and comes back down. Melanson throws a real hard breaking ball, very similar to the one Mark Pryor used to throw when he was healthy.
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball missed, 1-2.
Usually when a fastball curveball pitcher elevates a fastball, they're going to come right back with that nasty bender again. Again.
Pena will take second. Pass ball charge to Tolles.
Melanson shook to get to that high fastball a second time in a row, and just very lackadaisical effort that time by Tolles. The ball clanked off the thumb of his glove, moving Pena into scoring position.
Swing and the miss. Tolles will have to throw to first. And the Astros sweep the Cubs on a terribly disappointing homestand against three teams that are under 500, but the Cubs can only muster 3 wins on the 9-game homestand. They'll hit the road for 10 starting Friday night in St. Louis. Final today, Houston 3 and the Cubs 1.